Have you ever walked into a conversation and just knew what was going on beneath the surface? As if you weren't hearing words, but decoding feelings. As if the emotions and energy in the room had their own language, one only you could understand. You pause, you analyze, you even warn someone about something you feel is coming, but they don't get it. They call you overdramatic, overthinking. So you retreat. You stop sharing your instincts. You question your own mind. If this sounds like you, welcome. You're not broken. You're not imagining things. You're just different. And that difference? Carl Jung had a name for it. Introverted intuition. Today we're going deep into your brain, your patterns, your psychology. And by the end of this video, you won't just understand your strange, insightful mind, you'll learn how to use it like a superpower. Part 1. You see what others don't. It starts early. Maybe as a kid, you could sense when your parents were upset before they even said a word. You'd notice shifts in someone's voice, read meaning in a glance, connect the dots faster than anyone else. But when you shared your conclusions, people looked at you sideways. Stop being paranoid. You think too much. Sound familiar? Let's make something clear. You're not psychic. You're not supernatural. What you have is an advanced pattern recognition system wired into your psychology. You're reading what Carl Jung called inner objects, invisible emotional dynamics, and motives hidden beneath people's behavior. Most people rely on their 5 senses. You rely on insight, deep unconscious patterns. Your mind doesn't just notice what's happening, it senses what will happen. You see cycles repeat. You detect emotional inconsistencies. You connect the why when others are still figuring out the what. This is not fantasy. Jung called it the unconscious lens, a way of perceiving through symbols, emotions, and stories that play beneath the surface. Part 2. The curse of being right. Too soon. Here's where it hurts. You see patterns before they unfold. You understand people's behavior before they understand themselves. You want to help, so you speak up. But the world isn't ready. They don't believe you. They don't want to be told. And now, you're stuck, holding emotional weight for others, seeing the truth but unable to change it, having vision but no one to share it with. That's when your gift starts feeling like a curse. You question your insight. You isolate yourself. You silence the very thing that makes you exceptional. But Jung would say, don't, because this isn't the time to give up on your intuition. It's the time to understand it. Part 3. The collective unconscious. Imagine your brain is tapping into a library of human experience, not just your memories, everybody's. Stories, symbols, archetypes that have existed for thousands of years. This is what Jung called the collective unconscious, a shared blueprint of the human mind. That's why you recognize emotional patterns so easily. You've seen them play out in every movie, myth, or conversation. You're not inventing drama, you're recognizing it. Think of the hero's journey, the toxic cycle, the redemption arc. These aren't stories, these are codes. And you're the kind of mind that can read them, even when no one else sees them. You saw your friend dating someone toxic and tried to explain it. They ignored you, then came crying to you months later. That's not coincidence, that's insight. Jung called this the visionary type, a person whose job is to perceive, not conform. But here's the catch. Part 4. The invisible weight. When you live in vision, you lose your grip on reality. That's not an insult, it's psychology. Jung said every person has a dominant function. Yours is introverted intuition. But behind every strength is a shadow. For intuitive introverts, the shadow is extroverted sensing, the ability to focus on the present moment, details, and practicality. So what happens? You can spot emotional patterns in others, but you can't remember where you put your phone. You predict global trends, but forget your own deadlines. You can decode emotional trauma, but your room is a mess. It's not laziness, it's not stupidity, it's imbalance. And if this imbalance grows, it creates what Jung called the inferior function crisis. Your mind splits. You become too intuitive, ungrounded, anxious, lost in thought. Sound familiar? Part 5. The trap of withdrawal. Because you're misunderstood, you withdraw. You assume that no one will ever get you. You live in your head, safer there, right? But something begins to fester. Your body tenses. Your emotions feel disconnected. Your sense of time blurs. You chase inner clarity, but lose outer structure. And that's when burnout hits. Anxiety, shame, imposter syndrome. You begin to feel like your gift is what's ruining your life. But you're wrong. You don't need to fix your gift. You need to balance it. Part 6. Integration. The real solution. Jung's solution wasn't suppression. It was integration. You don't abandon your intuitive mind. You anchor it. You ground your gift into structure. Here's how. Step 1. Grounding practices. Pull your mind out of the clouds and into your senses. Take intentional walks and focus only on what you can see, smell, and touch. Clean your room slowly and consciously. Drink your tea without scrolling. Feel the temperature, taste, texture. It sounds silly, but it restores balance to your mind. Step 2. Systems, not memory. Don't rely on motivation. Set systems. Use reminders, automation, routines. Schedule tasks, not feelings. Break big visions into micro steps. You don't need to change who you are. Just stop expecting your brain to do what it was never designed to do. Step 3. Active imagination. Instead of being overwhelmed by visions, talk to them. Journal your insights like conversations. Ask your intuition, what is this really about? Let your inner archetypes speak, then challenge them. You'll find clarity, structure, and surprising guidance. Part 7. The Visionary's Path. The world isn't built for people like you, but it's changed by people like you. Prophets, visionaries, inventors, healers. Jung said without your type, society would collapse into routine and decay. It's your insight that breaks the loop, but only when it's balanced. When you become whole, your insights don't stay stuck in your mind. They become movements. Your emotions don't drown you. They become compasses. You aren't just a thinker, you're a force. And now, you need to remember what you are. You were never meant to fit into a noisy world by silencing your inner voice. You were built to read between the lines, to notice what others ignore. That isn't weakness, that's power. But power without grounding becomes pain. So build your roots, balance your vision with action, anchor your insight in structure, because the world doesn't just need dreamers, it needs those rare ones, like you, who can see what's coming and have the strength to build what's missing. This isn't a video. It's a mirror. Now ask yourself, will you keep hiding your depth to make others comfortable? Or will you become the type of person Carl Jung said civilizations are built on? You already know the answer, and now it's time to live it.